Hello, Science Alliance. Hello, I am Lara. This is Theory of Science. I am actually trained to teach physics to A-level. That's totally irrelevant now, isn't it? Because my job is streaming free live lessons for home educators. And yeah, you asked me to learn about Woodlands. You asked me to learn about all kinds of stuff. But today, we're doing Woodlands. This is probably going to be my favourite Woodlands lessons because I love history. You don't need to have seen any of the previous ones to watch this one. So this week, I've been researching Woodlands because we've already done, 5 lessons? And the internet kept telling me about how to manage a woodland. Like, oh, if you're going to look after a woodland, if you've got a woodland, you've got to chop down maybe 1 in 3 trees to let sunlight down to the forest floor so that different plants will grow. You've got to plant trees. There's all kinds of things you've got to do. And I was like, well, what did forests do before there were humans? So I started researching the whole history of Britain. So let's do this. Right. I said to bring some little pinches of food and I said to just lie it all out, and I said it was perfect how it was, but you could fiddle with it if you want to. If you're doing this activity with me, you might have done that. If you're not, it doesn't matter, just look at me. Can you push it all to one side now? Because a plain baking tray is actually quite a good model for what Britain was like 22,000 years ago. It was hard, it was shiny, it was quite cold to the touch. That's right, children. I'm so excited. I mean, a lot of you will have known this because you're really into this stuff like I am, but I'm going to give you some cool facts today you didn't know. 22,000 years ago, Britain was under an ice sheet. And then 12,000 years ago, roughly speaking, the ice melted and we were released, and what we call the Holocene period began. And we're still in the Holocene period. It's still happening right now. And one of the first trees to appear, if not the first tree to appear in this new un-icy Britain, was the silver birch tree. We've talked about it before. It's nice. It's a good one to identify because it's got this white silvery bark, and I've put leaves. It's supposed to say seeds. Grow in a little stack and then flake off and blow away, very much like this. If you've seen this before, it's so cool because it looks like one thing, and then if you start fiddling with it, look at that, it just bursts apart. And I hadn't noticed this until I did this lesson yesterday on Facebook. They really are little seeds with wings. They're called winged seeds, but I didn't really know what that meant. Look, it's so cute. Seeds that have just evolved to have these teeny tiny, they look like tiny little bees. Anyway, we'll talk more about floating seeds in a bit, so I don't want to do any spoilers. Let's move on. So birch trees, silver birch trees, they're pretty generous. They leave gaps in between their leaves, so it's quite easy for other plants to grow underneath them. Unlike those good-for-nothing beech trees that we learned about a couple of lessons ago. You remember? The sun's out of reach if you're under a beech. Not really anything grows underneath beech trees apart from some creepy fungus. But you're not in the lurch when you're under a birch. You get it, don't you? Anyway, so 10,000 years ago, you've got these... not in the lurch if you're under a birch. You've got these birch trees, these silver birch trees, popping up all over Britain. If you want to pretend that your baking tray is Britain 10,000 years ago, then you could get your palest sprinkle. I've got some little white stars here. I'm going to put those on. There we go. So choose your palest sprinkle, sprinkle that on. That is your silver birch tree. Maybe this is just going to help us remember. I don't know. It's what's called a pioneer. There's various pioneer species, plants and trees. And silver birch is a pioneer tree. It's very good at growing in kind of empty space where no other plant is growing. It's one of the first ones to pop up. There we go. This is great telly, isn't it? Just a few little stars on a baking sheet. Also, this tree called alder, which I haven't ever really paid very much attention to, and it's really annoyed me. So alder trees. You know how, if you've been to these lessons before, we've spent a lot of time talking about broadleaf trees. That's the trees that have the broad leaves. If you live in the UK, what you will think of as being tree leaves. And then you've got conifers, and conifer means cone making. So you've got the broadleaf trees that don't make cones, and you've got conifer trees make cones with the little pine needles. The alder is a broadleaf tree. Look at what the fruit of an alder tree looks like. This is the fruit of a broadleaf tree. It's a pine cone, isn't it? It's a pine cone, except it's not a pine cone because the alder tree it just wants to mess with our heads. Apparently that's a fruit. It's almost like nature just doesn't care about us and the silly words that we use to try and label things. So yeah, that's your alder, not a pine cone. But anyway, Alder is also a pioneer, so we've got to stick that on. There we go. This is what it looks like close up, so we'll put those on as well. That's happening. I guess you better choose a sprinkle to be your alder. Do you know what? I'll just stick them all on at once. The elm tree was also a bit of a pioneer. That pops up quite early. I don't think I've ever seen an elm tree. Apparently it's got these lovely purple flowers. It's got these little pods, so we'd better stick them on. I've never seen an elm tree, and maybe you haven't either, because of something very sad called Dutch elm disease. I've put RIP elm. Apparently elm trees used to be all over Britain, and then this disease where their leaves go yellow and their branches go kind of floppy and die off happened. And yeah, young elm trees don't get much further than being young, and then they die. It's very sad. And also the oak tree, which you probably know about the oak tree. It's got that really distinctive leaf. The National Trust use it, don't they, in their symbol. They give off acorns. It's not really acorn season at the moment if you're watching live in July, but look at the little one that I found. It's like a baby acorn. If you're watching in early July, go out and find some of those. And that's what the oak leaves look like. So we've got birch with the gorgeous little crumbly seeds, oak, standard, elm, I didn't have anything for that, and alder, which has done my head in with its not pine cones. All right. And there was hazel as well, but we'll stop there. So can you just fill your baking tray? Let's say that your baking tray is Britain. Let's just say Britain is now a convenient rectangle, and these are all the different trees that have sprung up, okay? So this is 100% of the forest in Britain about 10,000 years ago. There are some gaps. We'll look at why there are some gaps, why it's probably not dense forest cover everywhere you go. Oh yeah, I've got to say a little sorry to Scotland actually for a mistake in a previous lesson, okay? Because we looked at the Scots pine tree, which is native to Britain, and I said it popped up in Scotland. It did appear in Scotland at this time, but only in acidic soil. So I was telling you about the Caledonian forest as if it was full of Scots pine trees, but actually it wasn't. The Caledonian forest up in Caledonia was mainly these broadleaf trees. It was because the broadleaf trees are sort of better at growing, more competitive, but in the acidic soil the broadleaf trees couldn't grow, so that's where the Scots pine forests were. So they are actually called the Caledonian pine woods. Okay, most of you aren't going to care about that, but some of you will, and I don't like being wrong, so there we go. I'll stick a Scots pine tree right at the top there. Okay, but it wasn't just plants. Let me tell you about this amazing animal I didn't really know about. Have you heard of an auroch? So this is an auroch. It's basically an animal from the Stone Age that we bred until we had modern cows. So this is where cows come from, the auroch. 3,500 years ago, they roamed all over Europe. There were loads of different kinds. This is a cave painting that a human did of the auroch that they lived amongst. So you can see like the different colours on this map are the different kinds of auroch, but there were loads of them all over the place. Weighed about the same as an average rhino. Here's a picture of one next to a human. They found one in Essex, so if you're ever in the Museum of London, trot along and have a look at the proper, real, actual auroch skull that they found. So in the Stone Age, about 3,000 years ago, aurochs roamed the wild woodland. Let's stick them in as well. Here we go. And they did a great job of creating clearings. They would, obviously they're really big animals, so they'd kind of wander around, smashing into young trees, trampling things over, and created a lot of clearings. I was worried you wouldn't be able to picture what that looked like. So here's a PowerPoint special effect to show you. Here's an auroch coming on, and going bash, and then some trees get knocked down. Auroch moves on, bash, another tree gets knocked down. There we go. So that lets sunlight down onto the forest floor, which means that different plants can grow. So it's great to have clearings and paths through forests. So well done, aurochs. If you like clearings, you're going to love red deer and roe deer as well, because they also they actually eat kind of baby trees. So they also help to create clearings, which allowed other plants to grow. I thought, it's not very theatre of science. It's just not very theatre of science to just show you two deer. So I thought we'll have a couple of deer facts so that we can try and vaguely remember the difference between the red deer and the roe deer, just in case, like me, you're like, deer, that's all I've got. They're just deer. So red deer are massive. They came over when the ice melted, so they've been in the UK for a really long time. They eat grass and tree shoots. They're actually, I didn't know this, they're the biggest land mammal in Britain. They weigh up to 200 kilograms. It's a lot of kilograms, compared to roe deer at least. That's been in Britain for about 10,000 years, and it weighs up to 25 kilograms. It's much, much, much smaller. All right, try and remember that. There may be a quiz at the end. There is a quiz at the end. Okay, so that's the deer. And they create clearings by eating little baby trees, more of them later. Another animal that grazed British woodlands thousands of years ago, creating clearings. This is probably the most primary school slide I've ever shown on Theatre Science, and I'm absolutely here for it. Come on, we've had aurochs that clear paths through forests and create clearings. We've had 2 different kinds of deer. What's this, children? Ooh, what is it? Can you see some brown fur? What is that? It's not a deer. What is it? Oh, there's a little cute little foot. People think, admittedly me as well, I'm a bit scared of these, I think. People think they're aggressive, but they're actually quite shy, it turns out. It's not a goat. Looks a little bit like a sheep. It's not a sheep. It's a wild boar. What a cutie. So it turns out, I didn't know this until I researched this lesson, wild boar are good at dealing with bracken, which grows on the forest floor. I didn't actually know what bracken was. I thought bracken was just a vague name for stuff that grows on the forest floor, like brambles and that. But no, bracken is actually, it's kind of like, I suppose, the nickname for a type of plant that we have in the UK, a type of fern, this type of fern, which grows all over forest floors. It's nice, you know, bracken's fine, but you don't want just bracken. So studies have shown that bracken shades baby pine trees so that they can't grow. Here's some baby pine trees going, help, bracken, too shady, can't. And it turns out wild boar are useful because they dig up bracken roots and eat them, killing the bracken, allowing the pine trees to grow. I was worried you wouldn't be able to picture what that looks like. So here's a wild boar coming along, crash, chomp, nom, move on, wham, chomp, and off it goes, and the pine trees get to grow big. Yay, there you go. Another thing wild boar can do is they dig a lot of holes to get to their food, so they turn over the soil a lot, just like animals like badgers do, and that allows different types of plants to grow. Here's a boar, just in case you couldn't work out how that worked, digging away in the soil, moving on. All right, come on, what plant is going to grow now? What tree have I decided would come out of the ground if the soil got freshly turned over? Come on. It could be loads of different ones, couldn't it? But given what I've told you so far, given what we've talked about, what tree do you reckon for this PowerPoint I chose to be growing out of the freshly dug over soil? Some sort of pioneer species, something that likes to grow where nothing else is growing? Here it is, silver birch, well done. If you said oak or hazel or elm or alder, that'd be all right as well. Boar are also good at spreading seeds, eating them and pooing them out everywhere. Is there anything they can't do? Now I thought they're not going to be able to picture that, so here's a boar doing a poo, moving on, and very realistically from the poo rises a silver birch tree. Brilliant. Now, too many wild boar and deer is a problem because they strip the bark off trees and they kill them. I mean, they literally eat baby trees. So if you've got too many of them, that's not good for the woodland. But this wasn't a problem in Britain's wild woodland. Why was it not a problem? I spent a long time on Facebook congratulating myself for this question and saying what a brilliant teacher I was for asking you this question that would exercise your brain cells, fuse your neurons together. It's not a yes or no question, is it? It's making you really think about what I've taught you so far, putting all that together. Why was it not a problem? Too many boar and deer in the wild woodland. And then I looked out the comments and everyone was just like, yeah, obviously this, Lara. And I was like, no. Have you got it? Some people were saying because there were loads and loads and loads of trees, which is an excellent answer. And we'll talk more about that in a bit, actually. It's not the answer that I'm looking for. The answer is what every child loves to learn about. Predators. Yeah. So you've got your Eurasian lynx. I've said that it eats roe deer. It does actually. It's a bit of a problem for me. I'm going to do a quiz later where I haven't quite got my information right. The Eurasian lynx actually does eat boar as well. It can eat wild boar. Like little baby wild boar would be no problem for your Eurasian lynx. So remember that for later, that might be useful. And we also in Britain had brown bears and wolves, which ate all of the things. The red deer, the tiny little roe deer, your wild boar, whatever was there, they could eat them. So yeah, that was exciting. They were keeping the populations down. And then, very, very quickly, because humans were around at this time, humans start clearing the woodland to make farmland. So if you've still got your baking tray of sprinkles, which is representing the different trees in Britain, you've got to clear half of it away now, because by the time the Romans arrive in the year 43, half of the woodland has gone. Half of it. So whatever you've got here, just draw a line through half your baking tray and just get rid of it. Because it wasn't necessarily the Romans' fault. Humans just love wood, don't they? They love burning wood to make themselves warm. They love building stuff out of wood. So we've now got half the woodland that we had before. It gets worse, chums, it gets worse. Let's clear some of this away to make some nice Roman villas or whatever. And then the Anglo-Saxons, good history lesson this, in the 700s, the Anglo-Saxons came along. They love making buildings out of wood, and woodland cover is suddenly about 25%. So we've had 100% of woodlands. We've got rid of 50% of it. Now we only want 25% left, a quarter. So we've got to get rid of half of this again. Do you get what I mean? So we had 4 quarters. We've lost 2 quarters. We need to lose another quarter because now it's the Anglo-Saxon times. It's the 700s. So now we've only got 25% left. It gets worse, chums. Blooming William the Conqueror and his castles comes along, doesn't he? And he has a go as well. So by the Norman times, in the 1100s, we're down to 15%. Oh, we've got to do some maths here. What are we going to do? So this is 25%, like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And we need 15%. So we've got to get rid of about 2/5 of that. We don't need to be very precise, do we? Get rid of slightly less than half of that. That's not looking good. All this is gone now. If you don't like humans, it might please you to know that there was a slight recovery of Britain's woodlands in the 1300s because nearly everybody died of plague. But the human population bounced back, and by the 1900s, we were down to 5%. 5%. So what was that? 15%. So get rid of 15%, get rid of 2/3 of what you've already got. And that's what we had. Now, things are getting slightly better for lots of complicated reasons that we're not going to get onto. Land use is changing a lot in Britain, and forests are starting to come back, and some wonderful charities like the World Wildlife Trust and the World Wildlife, the WWF, all right, and the Wildlife Trust, the Woodland Trust. Charities that I've used extensively for my research in this lesson, and I should have remembered their names. They are planting trees, and we will talk about what they're doing in a bit. But obviously, this is not good for the trees, is it? But it's not good for all the animals that were living in the forest either. So this loss of habitat and hunting meant that the predators disappeared. So the brown bear was disappeared from Britain in the 500s. Off it went. The Eurasian lynx disappeared from Britain in about the 1500s. Off it goes. And the wolf lasted until about the 1700s in Britain, and then that left as well. So now humans have got to manage the deer population, because obviously we've still got deer. In fact, deer numbers in Britain are, I read, as higher than they've been over the last 1,000 years. So this is what's happening. We've got too many deer in the country, not enough things killing the deer, and we get this tree damage where they are doing a lot of damage to trees. The last auroch died in the 1600s. That's not the last auroch in Britain. That's just the last auroch. They survived until about the 1600s in Poland, and then they were all completely wiped out. So no aurochs anymore anywhere in the world. That's not quite the end. We'll talk about why at the end. So now we have to cut the trees down ourselves to create clearings as well. And the wild boar became extinct in the UK 300 years ago. And without them, humans have got to keep the bracken down themselves by rolling it with special machines or whipping it with sticks. It's actually a lot harder than it sounds. It turns out that animals are really good at doing these jobs very efficiently. For humans to get rid of bracken, to sort of actually get in like between the trees and get rid of the bracken, it's really time consuming. It's very, very difficult. It takes a lot of time and energy. All right. I've done loads of talking, so I've got a little task for you now. It's up to you how hard you want to make this for yourself, okay? I've got 4 things here that I'd like you to name. I'd like you to name from the kind of ancient woodland times. I've said like 4,000 years ago, before humans really started having a go, okay? So can you name one animal that lived in the wild woodlands of Britain that ate plants, a herbivore, one that ate meat, carnivore, one tree that was found in the forests of Britain 4,000 years ago, and can you name one thing that an animal was doing to kind of naturally manage the forest? I think they get harder as they go along. And if you finish that, if you're like, Lara, that's too easy for me, can you name 2 more of each? So 3 altogether. 3 animals that ate plants, 3 animals that ate meat, the carnivores, 3 trees found in the woodlands of Britain, and 3 things that an animal was doing to manage the forest. If you really want to push it, apart from the meat eaters, we have talked about 4 of each thing, actually. I'll do it with you. I'll write it on the boards. Despite being the one who researched and planned and taught this lesson twice now already, I'm actually finding it quite hard to do. So I think by the time I've done it, you'll be able to do it as well. How are you getting on? You got 1 of each? I think the trees one is maybe a bit tricksy, isn't it? And this one, the things that the animals were doing to manage the forest, this is the 3rd time I've done this now, so I really should be able to remember them all. But it was a lot. It was a lot, and I went quite fast, actually. I think I did go a bit faster than I did when I taught this lesson on Facebook, so it'd be interesting to see if you've picked up on all of them. I should say, if you're watching on YouTube, obviously you are. If you're watching live, then over on my Facebook page, every time I'm live on YouTube, because there's no comments, I put a post up on my Facebook page saying, if you want to comment on my Facebook post, and then at the end of this lesson, I'll go over and have a look on Facebook and see if any of you have said hello. You don't have to say hello. I love my lurkers. I don't mind. You just lurk away. That's fine. But some people, I like to read out your comments and questions and maybe even look at some photos at the end. Just trying to draw a poo on the board and failing miserably. Need to channel my bunny versus monkey. Yeah, no, that is bad. What else did they do? Oh yeah. There's one more thing that animals did. The poo, the soil. Oh yeah. Oh, actually, there's 5 for that last one. I've only written 4 in the previous lessons. Yeah, look at me, learning about woodlands by teaching. Right, there we go. Okay, well hopefully you've named 1 or 2 of each. Shall I show you the answers that I've got? Obviously there were loads more than what I've taught you. I'm only going to show you the answers that we've discussed today, but yeah, there's loads of different animals. We'll look at a few more of them in a sec. All right, so the herbivores, the ones that ate the plants, I've got your red deer, the really big one, the roe deer, the really little one, and the wild boar. The herbivores, the carnivores, I've got brown bear, wolf, and lynx. They did actually have, we did used to have lion, yeah, lions and hyenas as well in Britain, but not at this time, a lot longer ago than we're talking about. The trees, I've put birch, elm with a sad face, ash with a blooming pine cone that isn't a pine cone, oak, and hazel as well, which we haven't really talked about, but hazel was a pioneer. Things the animals were doing. So they turned over the soil, which allowed different seeds to grow, yeah? They spread the seeds, that's my picture of the poo. They controlled the deer numbers, so to sort of protect the trees. They created clearings by bashing trees down, and also the deer were eating the little baby trees. And control bracken as well is one that I'd forgotten about until now. Yeah, they used to eat, wild boar used to eat the bracken, so that allowing trees to peep through. Phew, right. Okay, let's make a thing while I tell you about some little animals, okay? The thing we need to make, you've probably made it before. This probably isn't new for you, but we can't do a lesson about tree management and woodland management without making a little seed that spins. So we're going to make a little seed that spins. It'd be better to use paper that wasn't like pristine paper, wouldn't it? Yeah. Have I got any scrap paper? Don't think I have. It's all. Oh yeah, here. Look, I tidied up my study, and now I've got a whole recycling bin right next to me. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're not using scrap. Can you cut out a piece of paper which is about half the width of a postcard? Maybe you should use pristine paper. Mine's a bit curly. I don't know if that's going to affect my results, but we'll go with it. So while I'm telling you about some of the little animals that lived in this ancient woodland, and that still live in the woodlands, just cut out a bit of paper that is, yeah, about half the width of a postcard. That might be... No, I'm not going to... I'm going to shave a tiny little bit off that. It really doesn't matter. I just can't not fiddle, which we'll also discuss in a minute. Okay, other small animals, because it's not fair. We've only talked about the big animals that eat other animals. Your red squirrel and your grey squirrel. So the red squirrel is the one that was around at this time. It's native to the UK. The grey squirrel is the one that came over from America in the 1870s and has been playing havoc, to be honest. I mean, it's not the grey squirrel's fault, is it? It doesn't know. It's just living its life. But it is causing massive problems in the UK. The grey squirrel, I mean... it's just better. In a way, it's better. Grey squirrels can have squirrel pox and not die. But if a red squirrel gets near a grey squirrel and catches the squirrel pox, the red squirrel will die. The grey squirrel, it just steals the red squirrel's food. And it also eats, it's just kind of more efficient. It's better. So now 75% of red squirrels in the UK live in Scotland. And most of the rest of the UK is full of these grey squirrels. So obviously the grey squirrel wouldn't have been around in this ancient woodland, but both of the squirrels do strip bark from trees, which is great if you're an insect or a fungus. That is actually a helpful thing, and that also helps to manage the woodland. But it's not great for us now. In the olden times, their populations would have been controlled by predators like, yeah, this dude, the pine marten. But say it with me, hunting and habitat loss mean that there's hardly any pine martens left. Have you cut your little postcard sized bit of paper that is half the size of a postcard? You done that? If you've done that, it really doesn't need to be very precise. What I need you to do is to start at the short end and then just cut up halfway. So you've got like a, well, as I said yesterday, it's like a kind of a ghost of a number block. It's like the number block character that they never finished. I don't know what number it is. It's like if number blocks made a horror film. Anyway, yeah, can you do that for me? Another creature which strips the bark off young trees, but you can't get mad at it. There's this thing. The field voles. Apparently field voles are short of food. They can kill trees, but you know, who could mind when looking at that cute little face? Did you notice the background of this picture? When we looked at the damage that deer can do to trees, in the background, you've got these things called tree guards. So now we've got lots of animals that damage trees and not a lot of animals that damage those animals. We have these things called tree guards. The most common type of tree guard is a plastic tree guard. So you wrap the plastic tree guard around the little baby tree little baby tree grows into a big tree, the plastic tree guard falls off. There's quite an obvious problem with this. And there's a less obvious problem, which would be funny if it wasn't so bad. So while you're making your little spooky number block, what is the most obvious problem with wrapping plastic around trees that then falls off? And I'll be very impressed. I don't think you'll get this one, but I have to put it to you. Your clue for the second one is, why do humans plant trees? What is the one sort of big reason we're always talking about why we should be planting trees that isn't really to do with animals? While you're doing that, I'm going to get some seeds off my office floor so that we can have a play with them in a sec. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Have you got it? So the most obvious problem, I feel like I probably don't need to teach you a lot about plastic. Plastic doesn't get cleared up. People don't tend to come back to rescue the tree guards. So it ends up going into the soil, breaking up. You get little bits of plastic in the soil. This is not good, is it? This is not good for anybody. The less obvious problem is that, why do humans plant trees? Why do we do it? So the one big reason, I mean, there's loads of reasons why planting trees is fantastic for wildlife, as we've discussed. But a big reason you get told for planting trees is because they take carbon dioxide into them, right? Carbon dioxide gas in the atmosphere, causing the planet to heat up, not doing good things. So you plant the tree and trees take in carbon dioxide. Making plastic tree guards, obviously you've got to use factories to make plastic tree guards, and a study showed recently that making plastic tree guards gives off more carbon dioxide than young trees take in. Yeah. So there's different kinds of solutions that people are coming up with. One solution is reusable tree guards, or like biodegradable tree guards that aren't made of plastic. The Woodland Trust is doing a lot of work on this. If you've got your little ghost of a number block, can you turn it upside down and bend its legs one either side so you've got a little helicopter? And we'll fly these little helicopters down to the ground in a sec, like that. See what I mean? Ghost of a number block, flip it upside down, one leg one side, one leg the other side. There you go. If you've done that, you also need a paper clip, and stick a paper clip on the bottom. So yeah, one solution to plastic tree guards is make tree guards out of different materials. Another solution is just plant loads more trees. Plant loads more trees than you need, and then if deer and squirrels and whatever kill some of the trees, then it doesn't matter. So you could do that. You could just plant too many trees. There's another thing you could do. I didn't realise there's a big difference here between what we do in Britain and what they do in Europe. In Britain, we're all about planting trees. In Europe, they just tend to they're better at just letting trees grow. But we don't really do that. Why don't we do that? Well, here is a sort of very famous pyramid that some scientists came up with of what humans need, sort of the basic things that we need to feel kind of happy and safe. The very bottom one is psychological needs, but look at the next one: security and predictability in one's environment. We need control over our environment. We need our environment to be predictable. So when I said to put all your sprinkles on your tray, do you remember I said it's perfect as it is? I used the word perfect, but I said you can have a fiddle with it and arrange it if you want to. How many of you did start arranging them? Maybe not all of you, but I bet a lot of you did, because humans just love to control things and fiddle. And this is, well, it's like one of my theories for why people in Britain are not very good at letting trees just replant themselves. So we even call it wasteland, don't we? If there's a patch of land where just sort of trees are naturally growing and there's brambles and ferns, I feel like as a British person we get a bit like, well, someone needs to go and sort that out, someone needs to tidy it up, we need to plant the trees in the right places. Whereas in Europe, if they want a lot of trees, they just let seeds do their thing. So let's have a look at some helicopter seeds. I asked if you could think of a song that involved the sycamore tree, because I feel like there's quite a few. I feel like everybody knows about sycamore trees. Sycamore trees, they're pretty famous for having these beautiful helicopter seeds which fly down really slowly. They're not actually native to Britain. They've been in Britain since like maybe the Roman times, we think, maybe the 1500s. They're great. They're lovely. I'm a big fan of sycamore trees, but the field maple. I can't believe I've been living in a country where the field maple is native to it, and I've never noticed these. Field maple trees, native to Britain. They've got these really cute little tiny maple leaves, and they've got helicopter seeds that when they get older turn pink. They turn pink. Look at it. Look at this thing. It's so cute. Where is my song about a field maple tree? Write me a song about field maples. They're so adorable. So if it is safe for you to do so, stand on a chair and let's fly. Well, I'll fly some sycamore seeds and some cute little field maple trees seeds. And then look, I've got some, these are some newer ones because I don't want to ruin my pink ones, frankly. But we'll split these up and see how they fly. While we're doing that, you could be thinking, because it's not a really obvious question, why is it good for these seeds to helicopter? So I'll do the sycamore first. Don't stand on a chair if it is not safe to do so, children. Get an adult to do it for you, okay? I have discovered over the course of these lessons that sycamore seeds, but two together like that, don't work very well. Watch this, not spin. You ready? Whereas the single ones do spin very well. I think. Did you see that? Yeah, there we go, lovely. I am a physics teacher, so I could tell you all about these, but I feel like now isn't the time and you're going to be cross because it's supposed to be a Woodlands lesson. Very, very, very basically, the reason they spin is because the shape of them is roughly symmetrical, right? So you can see how the kind of middle of the leaf shape-wise is in the middle. I'm not explaining this well because I'm trying to be fast. They're a symmetrical shape, basically, but the way that their mass is spread out is not symmetrical. So they're heavier at one end than the other end. So they're not evenly weighted, but they are quite an even shape, which makes them sort of, puts them off balance, which is why they spin. There we go. Should we check out the field maple as well? Here we go. Let's put these little guys to the test. Yeah, they do fine. Why is it good for a tree to have these helicopter seeds? I think that's quite a tricky question. Why is it good for a tree's seeds to take a while to hit the ground? Should we do our helicopters? See if this works. Oh, yeah, that was all right. It went a bit off-piste, I think, because I used a curly bit of paper. If you used a pristine bit of paper, you're probably doing better than me. Why is it good that it takes a long time? I thought a lot of you would be saying because it stops the seed from getting damaged when it hits the ground. But that's not it. It's basically so that the wind has got as long as possible to act on it. So the slower it falls, the more likely it is that the wind will blow it further away. Like the longer it's in the air, the further it will travel before it falls to the ground if there's a wind blowing. And like a lot of you said on Facebook, that means that the seeds get to be further away from the parent. So they get to be like where there's some space where they can get some more sun and some more water. So is that the end? I've put, well, it's nearly the end, except look at this headline on the Discover Wildlife page of the BBC website. You should go and read this article, it's brilliant. Prehistoric oryx are back from extinction and spreading across Europe, and they could be heading to the UK. It's a kind of misleading headline. Oryx are extinct, we're not going to get them back, they're completely extinct, but they found the most auroch kind of cow that they possibly could, and they bred the most auroch type cows together until they had something which is the closest we're going to get to an auroch, which they're calling a taureau, like bull, but most scientists are just calling them aurochs. So yeah, keep an eye on that. And the other thing is wild boar, they did go extinct in the wild in Britain 300 years ago, but some of them escaped from farms, some were released in the 1990s, and they're back. Yeah, so if you're anywhere near the Forest of Dean, go and have a look at them. There's loads there. They're also found in bits of England and Scotland. Keep your dogs on leads if they're around. They usually do run from humans, but if you meet a female with a baby, then maybe back away slowly and go somewhere else. Anywhere else. Do not approach. All right, you lot, that is That is certainly the end of all of the information that I'm going to give you. That was a lot, wasn't it? I'll do my little spiel explaining how these lessons are free, and then I have got a little quiz for you at the end with a find the mystery word. But very, very quickly, I need to get faster at this because a lot of you have heard it before. But if you're new, then I do have to tell you how I make money, because otherwise I don't make any money. So how it works is, right, where do I start? So I've just been streaming. I'm trained to teach physics to A-level. I'm a trained secondary school teacher who home educates my child. I started streaming free lessons in lockdown, and then they just went down really well. I really liked doing them. You really liked watching them. So how it works is I just said, well, if you could send me £5 a month on using this page called Coffee, then it's like a lot of podcasters use it. Sort of creative people who aren't getting paid for their jobs basically use Coffee where people can pay them. So you sign up to support me on Coffee with £5 a month, and it's totally been enough to keep me going. There's enough people watching that £5 a month is hopefully not too much from you for what I am doing. But yeah, for me, it equals a wage. So all of the lessons are free. Basically, my sort of rough rule that I have in my head for when I'm teaching and running this business is I'm not going to charge for anything that would help a child to pass an exam. So all of the lessons, all of them are free. I don't do any private Zoom lessons where people pay me more. No, I don't do that. This is literally what you are watching is my full-time job. So the printouts are free as well. They are stored on my website, which I have to pay for to store it all there. All the past lessons are there with the printouts. I stream a free IGCSE physics lesson in the same way. I do a Lego story show, which is happening at 10:30. You should come. It's all about different types of bee this week. Yeah, so you sign up with £5 a month. You can cancel at any time. And that it just keeps me going. It's working. It's a very symbiotic relationship between me and the home educating community. I do send you nice things when you sign up to sort of encourage you to sign up, and also to say thank you as well. So you're paying the £5 a month goes towards the work that you've seen. But I will send you a little welcome pack when you sign up. Well, actually, at the moment, I've got an offer on. It's actually quite a big welcome pack. If you sign up with £5 a month, you get some rainbow glasses that make you see rainbows and an information sheet about how they work. They're very cool. And you get this past issue of Theatre of Science magazine, which I write. So the one you get if you sign up with £5 a month is on mould. It comes with a home compostable plastic bag. So you make this little tray in the back and you grow some mould on some different foods and then identify it. It's got a comic about how penicillin was discovered. It wasn't just one bloke that sort of saved the whole world. It's got loads of information about fungus. It's got choose your own adventure. But if you sign up with £6 a month, which most people do actually, it's very sweet. That's the most popular one. Usually you would get the rainbow glasses and the mould magazine, and you get this sleep issue as well, with some little organic lavender and some fabric so you can sew something. And the sleep issue's got all the other cool stuff that the mould mag has. But at the moment, you also get this past magazine about weeds, because it's kind of weed season. All the flowers are out, and it's a really, really big magazine. The only thing is a couple of the pages came out slightly blurry, still readable, but a bit blurry. So I don't feel like I can put it in the pack as standard. So if you sign up with £6 a month at the moment, you get the rainbow glasses and the information sheet and the mould issue with the plastic bag and the sleep issue with the sleep squish pack and this weeds issue as well. Which is a bit ridiculous really. I'm just sort of trusting you to not get it and then cancel, because it's literally costing me about £6 to send it to you. But then the idea is that, if the sort of payments come out monthly and that pays my wages. And then you're on the list to get Theatre Science magazine whenever I've written another one. Phew! Right, so that's my ads. Please sign up. Go to my About section on YouTube. Shall I write it for you? About section. I think it's above this video. I think so. Should we put an arrow like that? Right, yes. Sign up now. Okay, quiz time. So I've got 4 questions for you. And you've got to give me the right answer, and then in the end you will have a mystery word. But there's actually 2 possibilities for the mystery word this week, because I made a deliberate mistake. So question number 1, can you name me an animal that ate wild boar in the ancient forests of Britain? If you think bears ate wild boar, then write a P. If you think lynx ate wild boar, write an F. If you think oryx did, write a B. If you think red deer did, write an L. If you think roe deer ate wild boar, write an N. Bracken is an S, seeds is an E, birch is an I, field maple is an A. So which one of those animals ate wild boar in the ancient forests of Britain. The next one, what was the first tree? I think there's only one answer to this. I think it's generally accepted that there was one pioneer species that got in before the others. The first tree to appear in Britain after that ice sheet melted about 12,000 years ago. What was the first tree? If you think it was field maple, write an A. If you think it was birch, write an I. If you think it was bracken, write an S. Question number 3. What's the largest deer in the UK? What is the largest deer in the UK? Is it a red deer? Write an L. If it's a roe deer, write an N. And the final one, wild boar spreads this and helps new plants to grow. I think I maybe should have put wild boars spread this and help new plants to grow. What do wild boars spread to help new plants grow? Have you chosen you've got a word that you're happy with? There were a couple of different answers here. So I've said that the animal that ate the wild boar was the bear, but actually it totally could have been the lynx as well. People on Facebook educated me. Yeah, of course, it could have been the lynx. So you could have had a P or an F. Either is fine. You will still have a word at the end. The first tree to appear in Britain after the ice melted was the birch, the silver birch, that pioneer species. So the next letter was definitely I. The largest UK deer, I deliberately tried to confuse people. The biggest deer in the UK, actually the biggest land mammal that isn't sort of domesticated or farmed by us, is the red deer, so it was an L. And wild boars spread seeds to help new plants to grow. They eat the roots of bracken, which helps to get rid of the bracken so new trees can grow, but they spread the seeds. So the word was pile or file. I tricked a lot of people on Facebook because they thought that the word would be pine, because that would make sense, wouldn't it? But I did that on purpose. I actually was going to have it be pine, and then I thought, no, that's too obvious. So I changed it to pile. Right, phew, that was a lot. I feel like that was that was dense as a forest full of bracken where there aren't any wild boar around. That was a dense lesson, so well done if you managed to get any of those answers correct. I'm going to go over to my Facebook page and see if anyone has said hello. But I can't be too long. I say this every time. I can't be too long because at 10:30 I'm streaming a Lego story show all about different kinds of bee, and I need to reset it. I haven't reset the Lego story. They're all in the wrong places. So let's have a look. On my Facebook page, say hello to people. Yay! Oh, in fact, I know some people are here. I know that Shuki is here with Arza and Eunice and Musa and Salah. And I know, Belle's here as well. I think Belle's here. If Belle has woken up, then Belle is here. Belle and I were both having quite a hard job getting going this morning. Belle, I made it. Hope that you did as well. All right. Oh, Joyful Maths with Ruth is here to say that they're not here. My kiddos will be watching with their dads today, loving the Woodland theme so much. Hiya. All right, Joyful Maths with Ruth fam. Hello. We're heading to Legoland before it gets too hot and busy. Very smart. So we'll be watching later today. See you next week. Bye, Mark. Wait, bye. Hi, Mark and Tabitha and Simon. Hello. Talitha. Oh, I bet people do that all the time. I'm so sorry, Talitha. I really like the name Talitha. Mark and Talitha and Simon, hello, and also bye. Just thinking these sorts of notes would never be authorised at school. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. It is nice being a teacher and be able to just be like, have a nice time at Legoland, enjoy catching up, bye. We have loads in our garden and they drive my mum mad cleaning them up. Loads of what? What are you talking about? What? Loads of what? What is that? Oh, wait, are they sycamore seeds? Oh, I think so. Oh no, are they field maple trees, maybe? Oh, I wish I could get sick of field maple trees. Hello, Henry. We often have some red deer venison from the moor out of our back garden. In the freezer, another way to manage the population. Yes, I read about this in a couple of different places. I think roe deer. I think you can eat roe deer as well. Have I made that up? I'm sure I read that you can. Yes. I have my own little oak. Oh, that I planted its acorn about 6 to 7 years ago. I even found the acorn on the moor. Oh, that's so nice, and it's 1 metre high. That's amazing. Wow, I am very well. Thank you for asking. All right, Jancy. We were wondering if you'd done any Lego show on red versus grey squirrels. No, I haven't. Do you know what? I know why as well, and that's really bad. I used to do, as a lesson at school, when I taught in a classroom, there's a lesson on red squirrels versus grey squirrels. So in my head, it's too schooly. That's really bad, isn't it? Wow, that is what school can do. I got schooled. I need to shake that off so that I can find red squirrels and grey squirrels interesting again. We've seen a grey squirrel with a sore-looking eye. Oh, and did a search to see if we could do anything to help it. But we found out that as they aren't native to the UK, they won't be treated and put back in the wild. Oh yeah, I've read about that. Yeah, that if you, it's really awkward, isn't it? If you find a species that's ill. But yeah, it's a bit tricky. Like they would put it out of its misery, let's say, but they wouldn't heal it up and then release it. Yeah, interesting. We planted silver birches in our garden last year. Bella. I'll reply with a picture of the actual tree. Dad is loving the lesson. Oh, really? I am in the dining room right now, but I can hear him shouting the answers. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's good. Is he singing about a sycamore tree? This is one of our silver birches. We planted 4 baby trees, which are now massive, and 1 big silver birch who sadly didn't survive the winter. Oh, so the babies were stronger, eh? Whoa, they're doing well. Wow. Very nice. Do you want to have a look at Bella's garden? It's pretty cool. Look at that. That is doing well. Silver birch. You're not in the lurch. Yeah, look, that's nice, isn't it? Still a lot of sun down there. I like your bird bath. Anyway, I'm just being nosy now. Sorry, that's interesting. Okay, right, come on, because I've got to go. I've got a set of my Lego show about the bees. From Gilbert, I think baby wild boars look like watermelon pigs. I don't know what a watermelon pig is. That was a weird picture, wasn't it? Yeah, it didn't look like what you would typically imagine a boar to look like. Hello, Aurelia. I'm really resisting looking at watermelon pigs. I'll do it later. Ruby and Oscar are loving your dramatic effects on this one. Oh, that's good. Also a bit sad about the forest depletion. Yeah, I know. They've really enjoyed the whole Woodland topic though. Oh, that's nice. Oh, thanks Oscar and Ruby. Thanks very much. Hello, Willow and Darcy and Jackson. All right. Hello. Hello, Jessica. I have been drawing a picture of Woodland. I used oil pastels. I love a bit of oil pastel. And it worked amazingly as they'd melted a bit in the sun. Oh, nice. Oh, that's a good idea. Love the singing. Oh, thanks, Belle. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I've had it in my head for 3 days solid now. Hello, Oliver and Ava. Hello. Ava, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. It's because a child who is very dear to me that I know in real life is called Ava. You might be Ava. But you're probably Ava. I'm going to say Ava. Sorry, you've been coming for ages, haven't you? I should know this. Hello, Magnus. We saw a red squirrel when we lived in Scotland. Scotland's come out of these Woodland lessons very well, I feel. I feel like on an hourly basis now, I go, hey guys, this thing, Britain, actually Scotland. Edmund recently in April planted a tree in a nature reserve. Nice, very nice. What else is Edmund saying here? I think it's a buckthorn. Ooh, we haven't talked at all about buckthorn, have we? Hello, Imogen and Ophelia. All right, Matilda and Elwood. Thank you for our magazines. Thank you for getting the magazine. Seriously, genuinely, thank you so much for getting the magazine. It's really kind of you. Yay, wild boar reminded us of Catchphrase. Did it? Catchphrase. God, I used to watch Catchphrase. That's not ringing any bells though. Sycamore Tree by Ruth B. Mum says, dream a little dream of me. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Jessica drew this. Whoa, oh, nice. So let's have a look at Jessica's picture. Look at that. Oh, come on. That is really cool. Oh, I love the little mushrooms. Oh, so cute. I love the massive sun. That is truly the true colour of the sun. Wow, that is lovely. That's really nice, isn't it? Look at that. Look at all that's going on there. You got the bracken. Is that a poo? Or maybe it's just some overturned soil. Lovely. Lovely bracken. Right. Stop. Come on. Stop being interesting, you lot. I've got to go. I don't really want to change my timetable because I quite like that we're all just, you know, we all know when the lessons happen now, don't we, if you've been here for a few years. Hi, Lara. Mum's out with her friend. Rude. So we have me and Dad watching today. Also, my 13th birthday's also... You're 13, you're 13. I'm a little bit intimidated. Genuinely, like, a little bit intimidated. Are you still going to watch, even though you're 13? 13's a pretty cool age. Oh, that's nice. Look, Shuki, Nazri, Nunes, and Salah and Mesa saying happy birthday to you. You guys have been hanging out in the comments for a long time, haven't you? What are you saying to me now? You saying something else? Oh no! Whoa! Bella! That's why you were getting the birthday love, because Eunice is fully appreciative of birthdays, because it is actually Eunice's birthday today. Today! Just slip that in at the last minute. Happy birthday! Are you actually watching Theatre Science on your birthday? That's amazing. I hope you're getting very well treated. Very well treated by the other four. Musa? Salah? Shuki? Alza, looking at you. Special treats for Eunice today. Great lesson. Oh, hello. Oh, Sebastian and Humphrey. Big day for you on Saturday as well, isn't it? Is it Saturday that you're in Charlotte's Web? Have I got that right? Yeah? You all sorted? It's coming up very soon. It's coming up soon. Great lesson. And speaking of natural predators, how was Jurassic World? Don't do that. You can't do that. I'm literally going live again in 26 minutes. I can't. Don't ask me for my opinions on Jurassic World. Sebastian Humphrey hanging out with our wolves. One is a puppy. Oh, I need to do a whole live stream. Maybe over the summer holidays to like please the algorithms. I'll go live and tell you my many opinions about the new Jurassic World film. I've seen it twice already, and I'll probably see it again. Oh, so many opinions. So I can't. Well, look what you've done. Oh, okay. I'll distract myself with this cute dog. That is gorgeous. Wow, have you actually got a pet wolf? That is very wolf-like. A lot of fur in that picture. All right, I've got to move on. I've got to move. Must not say my opinions of Jurassic World. Could you do a lesson on red pandas? We did red panda versus giant panda quite recently, and it's on YouTube. If you search Theatre of Science panda, it will come up. Yeah, like we've done it recently enough that I can't do it again for quite a long time. Hello, Edith and Edward and Bryce. Here we all love this lesson. Oh, you lot. Oh, you're so lovely, aren't you? What was I do without you, eh? I mean, you know, work in a school. I probably couldn't even do that, to be honest. I don't even know if schools enjoyed eating the sprinkles. Oh, good. I don't even know if schools are so desperate for physics teachers that you can not teach in a school for 6 years and then just go back to teaching in school. I don't know. I don't think they'd have me. I think they'd probably think I didn't have the right attitude now. They might think I was a bit too unschooled. All right, we've got a couple more comments and then I really had better go. I need that in view, don't I? So that people who haven't signed up know how to sign up. Let's go to most recent comment. Oh, I'm so jealous of you in Legoland. You're probably not still watching this. You're probably in Legoland. Oh, look, Ava is telling me that I pronounced it right. Cha-ching. Yes, thanks, Ava. Excellent. I will be 13 in August. I am doing a dance show on Saturday. Blooming at you lot. Oh, you're very busy, aren't you? You're very multi-talented. Well, happy birthday for August. Because I won't go live in August. Unless I just do a whole series of rants about the Jurassic World franchise, which is tempting. But if I don't, extreme happy birthday for August. Hi from Stevie! Oh, come on! Guys, a new person! A new person! Stevie, sorry, not to freak you out. It's just really exciting. Still, a tiny little bit of my brain is going, it's probably a lockdown thing, this. It's probably just a lockdown thing. I'll probably have to go back to teaching in school soon. But if new people come, that means it's not a lockdown thing, is it? Because new people are coming. So that's excellent. We're new here, love the lesson. That is great. Welcome to the Science Alliance. Very little of this was my idea, you know. You lot just call yourself the Science Alliance. If you're watching me, you're in the Science Alliance. That's how it works. Oh, welcome. That's really made my day, that comment. No offence to everyone else. This is a spider. Wait, what? This is a spider. That's spy. Duh. You hold the string up, hold the tube and focus it on something, and other people can look through and see things they didn't before. Sorry, did I literally just write a supporter magazine which I posted out to all my supporters about spies with loads of amazing free gifts? Are you now coming at me with some kind of cool made of household objects thing that didn't get a mention in my... What is this? I don't get it. It's a spider. You hold the string up and hold the tube and focus it on something, and other people can look through and see things they didn't see before. That's very cool. So it's like, it's to focus things I see. So if you've sort of hidden something in the room, then people look through it. I really like that. And I'm really annoyed that it doesn't feature in my spy magazine. Hey ho. It's still very cool. It's still, I'm not angry with you. I'm angry with myself. There's Matilda and Elwood. What else have you got to say? Have you said something else? The picture. Oh, yes! That's what it, yes, of course. The picture reveal. Yes. I think that's actually the last time that I saw that as well. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Right, okay, I better go. Jessica is, oh yeah, Jessica has shown me that gorgeous picture. Jessica, that is very lovely. Oh, and Effie and Frank are here. No, Effie and Frank are here right now, doing the lesson with their dad today. Very nice. Hello, Effie and Frank. And Dad as well. Mystery Dad. Hello. And there's Gilbert with the watermelon pigs. Right, okay, that's good. I think I've said hello to most people who've commented. I really do have to go, because in 21 minutes I'm supposed to be all set up and ready to teach you about different kinds of bee in 21 minutes. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go and set up. Thank you so much for joining me for this lesson. If I don't see you at the Lego Story Show about different kinds of bee, I'll hopefully see you next week. One more lesson about Woodlands. And then I've got the summer holiday, I say off, loosely off. I will be writing my supporters their magazine and planning for the new term. But yes, so next week is the last week of live stream lessons before I do my work in other ways. So if you want to support me and get that Weeds magazine, please do. I'll see some of you in 21 minutes. I'll see some of you next week. Thanks so much for all your support. Bye.